My name is Juan Garcia, Council Mayor. First of all, congratulations, and I applaud you and Councilor Graham, Mayor, for engaging with HUD in trying to, or attempting to fix our chronic crime problem that we have in the city. Thank you. My focus is not on the homeless. Tomorrow I could be homeless myself. My focus is on crime, just like our previous citizen that came up here. This is wanton crime that happens for absolutely no reason. What I'm going to talk about today is imagine you driving up to your residence with your headlights on, reflecting the side of your home. You discover your home had been tagged or criminally vandalized. You exit your vehicle and the stench hits you. Not paint, but excrement, poop. Used to write on the side of the wall in large letters. Some criminals took the time to collect enough excrement to be able to write "Little Dick" and other words on the wall. Now you're left with a cleanup job of a filthy, biohazardous, senseless criminal act, which is an attempt to terrorize this and other Hispanic small business owners. In the real case, the business element later returned and dumped a large can of trash, simply because there's very little, if any, consequences. You have all these details because I sent them to you Friday. If there were harsh consequences, the criminals would think twice. Consider the options. Open a substation on CD3. Lobby your state colleagues for stiffer penalties. Ask the victims who have been hit time after time if you're moving fast enough. If they say you are, then okay. I doubt it. Many of these crimes are committed in Council District 3, but the rest of the city is also terrorized. Safe Haven, who lost about a week's worth of business when the criminal element hit him, or twice the space in Solano, who suffered over $15,000 worth of damage, or the Shell gas station that I just met with a little while ago before I got here, who now have bars in front of the door, or the dollar store on North Valley, which is part of CD4. I meet the managers and the owners of this business, and I can go on, and it is very unfortunate. But what about the rest of the city? Car thefts, break-ins. It is unfortunate CD3 was turning into a cesspool of crime, while Councilor Gay Vasquez was pushing for the ban of plastic bags. I know you have limitations, so where are our state representatives and senators? In my opinion, fixing crime is not a politically expedient objective. You can't protest and support, quote, police reform while pushing for more police on the street or ask for police substation. Thank you. I'd like to introduce this picture on the record.
Juan, if you can, leave it with the city clerk, please. Anyone else on the fourth row?
Mayor, councils, Eric. My name is Carlos Navarette. My office is in the corner of Solano and Missouri. That picture that he gave you is from my building. Now, I know I only have 3 minutes, so I'll be brief, but to the point. You know, living here, I've lived here 65 years. I was born here. And I've never seen anything like this. It's terrible. In the past 2 years, my store front doors have been broken 3 times. Do you know how much those storefront windows cost? They're not cheap. My electrical wiring system has been vandalized. My irrigation system has been destroyed. I constantly have to come in the morning and clean feces, vomit, urine, and needles. And I'm sorry to bring this up after your lunch, but it's a reality that I'm living. My life has been threatened several times just because I tell these people, move on. This is private property. You're not allowed here. because they leave a mess. So I've been threatened. So since I only have maybe 1 minute left, I'll talk about this past week, okay? Last Sunday night, they lit a fire in the back of my building. I called the police. Well, I'm still waiting for them to show up. They never showed up. There was a fire back there. I should have called the fire department, maybe. So on Monday, when I got to work, I called the police to make the report, and again, they didn't show up. On Wednesday, a homeless were there in the real building, and there was a mess everywhere. On Thursday, I showed up and found feces in the corners of my buildings. On Friday, again, there they were, and I caught the woman urinating on the curb. And she got up and ran, and I told him, if I ever see you again, I'm going to call the police. And she's like, call them, I don't care. Well, that night, they tagged my building. And you have that picture. And if you'd like, I can email you the actual pictures in color. So I called the police. Well, it took several hours, and they finally made it. Well, finally, they sent a police aide, like a 15, 16-year-old young man. Nothing against him, but he's the one that filled in. So I need to know, is this something that can be fixed, or will somebody have to be seriously hurt or die before you do something? Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos. I'm going to wait and see if Rick had anything to say, and I'm going to address yours and Juan's concern. Rick, are you going to say anything? Okay, so, and again, I can't engage counsel on this. This is just my own response here. So I understand, I think you all know that a couple years ago, there was a constitutional amendment called bail reform, and that was passed. And it put two conditions that judges have to meet before they can house the perpetrators. One is a flight risk, the other one is a danger to society. And they have a long list of things as far as danger to society. It seems real simple, but legislature included that. So I was talking with some district judges from around the state, trying to get some information, some advice from them. And they said, Ken, if you think you can get the legislature to add this one wording to this law, and it's as the courts may determine, that allows them the freedom to still maintain the flight risk and danger to society, or as the courts may determine. It sounds simple, but he says that would be enough for judges to be able to not circumvent the law and still be in the confines of it. So what I'm trying to say is, I hear you. I know all my colleagues hear you as well. I'm sure I see a lot of times when they're copied, when they're sending emails, I'm copied. I see it they're daily. And we're all trying to deal with this situation. But I'm going to look into this a little bit more, so I'm going to hopefully call on many of these, have that wording put in. I don't know if that has to be a constitutional amendment. I have no idea. This is state law, and this is something there and it may have to be. But I can assure you that I think the public is willing to listen and do something, because not a day goes by that members of the public come, and various different ones, share with us the stories. And so I apologize for that. And Mr. Navarette, if you'd like, you can email me the times that you sent the call, and we'll research it from Central Dispatch and find out why they didn't respond. Okay, so that's the fourth row. Anyone in the fifth row? No, Eric?